Well, hello there. Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever it is that you are in the world. I want to say welcome. My name is Brenda Williams, and I'm the founder of Culture Shift Hers Unite. I'm also the host of the Brenda Williams Show and the podcast Soul of a Lead Her for she who lives and works from the soul. And I'm so excited about this series that's being birthed through me. So last week we talked about the culture shift her codes. So codes are not laws or rules or anything that you necessarily have to obey, but they are awarenesses, they are portals, and these are spaces, postures to hold, if you will, to help support you in the expression of your empathic nature. So for those of you who find yourself neurodivergent, highly sensitive, empathic, this is the code for you because you understand implicitly that your intuitive nature, your intuitive gifts, the way that you move through the world, your heightened sense of creativity and human centered interactions avails you to perhaps some awarenesses that maybe others take for granted or may not even notice at all. And so through these codes, right, we talked about listening, and listening doesn't just happen from the ear gate. Listening is a full bodied experience. What do I mean by listening as a full body experience? You know what you feel when you walk into a room. You know what you feel when you leave. You know what you feel. You know what you feel. And that is a part of listening. You're attuned. So you also hear what's not being said. You hear the words, but you also hear the power, the intention behind the words. You hear beyond, right? And this is what we call clairaudient. So you can hear beyond, but you also have other abilities like clairsentience and clear cognition, clear knowing, and clear feeling. So I just wanted to settle that before we get into what I believe is the probably one of those central parts of our work together. And that is the emotional maturity and spiritual awareness. This is what sits at the center of soft power. So before we dive in, I want to just name for those of you who are listening, for those of you who are running companies, nonprofits, creative spaces, conveners, for those of you who may be early in your career, but spiritually, you're not new at all. Those of you who are here in this space, you have built things. You've carried responsibility. You've shown up for people. And honestly, many of us are just tired. Not tired because we've failed, tired, but because we've outgrown what were told success is supposed to look like and feel like. And more to the point, we're operating in leadership roles and capacities and organizations all under emotional duress because none of us are blind to what's happening in the world. And maybe we don't name it enough, but we do have global genocides, very real global genocides unfolding. We have the destabilization of our institutions. Of course, if you're in the nonprofit sector, I can only imagine what it is like to have to continue to run the mission, but with less provision than probably previously documented. And that many people are wearing multiple hats per usual, but restricted in terms of what we can say and what we can name. And so for my DEI friends, JDI, Jedi, all of it that puts those at the margins in the attempt to bring them center, in many ways, we're limited in terms of what we can say. And I'm sure it's demoralizing to see over and over again websites get redone, text being redone, and the minimizing and the decentering of justice. And so this is where the spiritual maturity comes into play. So what I'd like to name